Hi guys, Paul Pluter on the ArchieLuxury corporate channel, the ArchieLuxury channel and the Paul Pluter channel. Today guys, I want to talk about alternatives to Rolex. And I gotta tell you guys, it wasn't so long ago that if you were a Weiss, a serious collector, you really wouldn't buy Rolex. That's right, many serious collectors, they sort of thought newbies bought Rolex. How the worm has turned. So, guys, now we've got total market domination, and it's down to Rolex. Everybody wants steel sports. I had a friend of mine, his business partner went to New York, Manhattan in New York City. And he went into a Rolex retailer. Excuse me, he said, do you have any steel sports Rolex? That's what he said, steel sports Rolex. And the man behind the counter said, you obviously don't understand about the Rolex supply problem. That's right, the Rolex supply problem. And now, what is the answer, my friend? Well, I'm here to provide a few luxury alternatives. It's gotta hurt. It's gotta be prestigious. It's gotta be bang per buck. What would I steer the audience to? That, my friend, is the question. So another great brand is Breguet. That's right. This is a magnificent brand. Breguet themselves they invented the tourbillon. They invented so many things in horological sense. Originally, Breguet was no, they weren't Swiss. They were French. That's right. The French, the frogs. They were French. And it's got a French charm to it. Just like IWC is got a German flavor to it, Breguet, very much a French brand. Napoleon Bonaparte, yes, he went Breguet. It's just amazing. Breguet itself is one of the leading brands. In fact, out of all the high-end brands in Russia itself, it is the gangster's choice. That's right. The gangster's choice. They love Breguet. Breguet has got a lot of Russian flavor to it as well. So, with Breguet, what is the answer? Well, my friend, I tell you what, one of the greatest bang per buck watches, which is in the steel sports genre, and it's also a Haute horology piece. It's the Breguet Type 20. That's right. Originally, Type 20 was a naval Air Force contract, because this goes back to the days when the Air Force was actually part of the Navy, Naval Air Force, and basically they needed a watch which pilots could use in flight. It needed to be a certain size, it needed certain timing on the chronometer eyes, and it needed to be a thing called a flyback chronograph. So that means you could reset it whilst it was functioning without having to stop it first. The Breguet Type 20. Now, quite a few manufacturers made Type 20 pieces, but Breguet is probably the most prestigious, and the rest, as they say, is history. The other great thing about the Breguet Type 20, guess what? ArchieLuxury was never a chronograph man. That's right. He was never a chronograph man. In 2001, he was selling some watches for a dealer And guess what? He came across a Breguet Type 20. He said, this is the most beautiful. The numerals, the hands, the coin edging. And this is the wristwatch which got ArchieLuxury, the wristwatch guru, into luxury timepieces. This is the one and only, guys. So what can I say? Indeed, this is the piece that got ArchieLuxury into chronographs, and he's become a chronograph fan. Archie's gone full circle. Archie's got a Speedy Omega Speedmaster Man on the Moon. He's got a Hoya Caliber 11, and he's also got the Zenith El Primero. But without that Breguet, Archie wouldn't be a chronograph man. And that's a pretty big achievement. And the wonderful thing is the Breguet Type 20, it's really soft in the secondary market. Breguet have kind of done no favors to themselves there. They've made the Breguet Type 21 and the Type 22, which is kind of mean the Type 20 kind of gets a bit overlooked because it is a fraction smaller. Now, you've got to go back in time. The original Breguet is, its truest descendant is the current Ehrenvale and Transatlantic Type 20s. So in this day and age there, the Breguet Type 20 has become a bit of a bargain. Breguet is using a OMMANEY movement. Breguet is part of the Swatch Group. Breguet is their premier horology brand. Don't forget, OMMANEY used to supply movements to Patek Philippe. All the perpetual calendar chronographs were Nouveau OMMANEY movements. So you're in good stead with Breguet using OMMANEY movements. The Breguet itself there, they are a delicate watch. Make no bones about it. These are not like a Rolex where the steel is super hard and it's a piece which you can use and abuse. This is a piece of high-end horology. But if you were a true connoisseur, this could be the perfect brand for you. So I honestly, my advice is hunt around and have a look for a nice Breguet Type 20. I have owned the Transatlantic and the Ehrenvale. The Transatlantic is the version with the date. It has a glossy dial and a brushed finish on the case, and if it's a bracelet version, on the bracelet. The Ehrenvale is the no-date version. It's got a matte finish dial with a polished case and bracelet if it's fitted with a bracelet. Personally, I quite like the Breguet to have no date. I think it's cleaner, truer to form, and the Breguet is not sort of a piece that you would wear every day, so it can be a bit of a monster to continually have to set the date function. It's something to play. It's going to add complexity. In my opinion there, the date function can always go wrong because I'm a bit anal. I like to have the correct date when I'm wearing the watch. But the Breguet, being a horology piece, this is a Sunday special where you'd probably want to wear it once a month, and you kind of want to, with the Breguet itself, you'd want to wear it once a month, and you just want to set, shake, and wear. So you don't, best not to muck around with date functions. Are you setting the time? Are you winding it? Are you anything to possibly damage the date? Is in the right zone? So I think the no date is perfect, but nothing wrong with the date version either. They're both pretty fantastic. Bargain buys. Box and papers. Box and papers is always nice, but it depends on the deal. The boxes can be quite expensive. They are not as common fodder as Rolex boxes, so just be a little bit careful. Remember, a good Breguet box, you could pay $400 to $500 just for the box. Breguet, would I get it on a bracelet or a strap? That's an interesting question. I normally always say strap, strap, strap. It really depends. The bracelet is a little bit delicate, so if you've got a really nice example with a bracelet, sure, go ahead and pull the trigger. But if the bracelet's a bit shabby, I would prefer to have the leather strap version. Just be aware the width of the ends of the strap there would be 21 mils. Most watches are either 20 mils or 19 or 22 or 24. 21 is a little bit odd, mind you. Some makers are. Tudor is another maker who does have 21. A lot of people, 21 is just a very obscure size, so just be aware of that. But a wonderful piece. Breguet is a very, very cool brand. Bang per buck is amazing. These were the same price as a Rolex chronograph Daytona. They were the same price when new. They have fallen. So if you want second-hand bang per buck value, I think Breguet would have to be one of the greatest brands. It's high-end horology, high-end movement. It's very beautifully done. Attention to detail would just leave a Rolex for dead. It's got Breguet snobbery. You've got bragging rights. This is a really cool piece, and it's a bit of a bargain. So, guys, if you want an alternative to Rolex with more snobbery, more prestige, more status, you can't go wrong with Breguet. I'm Paul Pluto. I hope you've enjoyed this video here on alternatives to Rolex wristwatches. Tell me what you think. Like, subscribe, tell your friends, and don't forget Archie Luxury Corporate, Archie Luxury channel, and the Paul Pluto channel. These channels will keep you entertained in the field of wristwatches. Thank you.